Using the recent weekly candle closure, we were able to identify the downside targets that we absolutely nailed today. The question is, can we maintain stability at these lows, or will price action bounce and continue to the upside? Let's pop open the charts to observe just that probability. Welcome back to the channel on this Money Monday. This is ARCa, and let's dive into GME. Let's kill them, team. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Please do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, do everything necessary to get this thing to live long, thrive, and survive. Let's go ahead and take a look at GME here on the weekly chart. And this is absolutely the chart that we use here to identify that potential pullback. How the hell did ARCa know that we were going to get that pullback right? So let's go ahead and just take a look at that very thing right now. This is that prior weekly bar that we identified, right? Now, usually when we get close to that very bottom side of price action, we tend to open near that very bottom on the next candle and continue to that downside to create pressure by observing a deeper demand, right? So what we're looking at here is a prior bar downside. It's going to create something. Well, I mean, this is a speculation, okay? We're going to create something that can potentially turn into a double bottom, or some people can identify it as a tweezer bottom. Whatever that may be, we're going to observe here in the coming days or next day. The dynamics over the markets are something that we're going to have to keep an eye on too. Remember, Wednesday, we're going to make that decision over the rate cut, right? Also, we're going to be observing the quadruple witching for all major options contracts, including stock options, futures contracts, derivatives. All of those things are going to be expiring here on this Friday, right? So it's going to be a very turbulent week. And also, guys, you know what? Something that I didn't mention on the AMC prior video that I that I recorded. It's actually going to be the jobless claims. Continuing jobless claims will be on Thursday as well. Oh my goodness. So we absolutely have a huge turbulent week coming ahead, right, you guys? So I want you to make sure to risk less in the market, right? This is what, pro traders call size down time, right? So make sure to just size down for now, right? Remove size from the markets. Make sure to bet only what you're willing to lose, right? Short term, only scalps, day trades, nothing overnight. I understand that we actually played that WHLR play and we absolutely nailed the topside price, right? We entered at around 527. That was our lowest entry, and we just exited the markets today. Some of us upside of $8, right? I myself exited the market at around 734, and everyone else did in similar places. So congratulations to the ARCa Bulls team for that trade, right? So yes, I understand that we held that overnight, but it's not the case for the coming days. Okay, you guys, I promise, I wouldn't be saying anything if I didn't absolutely believe it. Okay, so watch out. I want you to make sure to be careful, all right? So anyway, this downside here on GME, I'm still expecting, right? I get it. We have a very nice, very nice bounce from that 1991. In fact, if you take a look at the OHLC valuations right up in here on the top left of your screen, that's your open, high, low, close. Right below here, that low of the prior bar, right? That's looking at what? 1931 at the L. And this one here, we said 1991. And it dropped to 1992. Of course, there's going to be a whole bunch of comments there. ARCa Bulls, you're off by a fucking penny again, right? All good. But yes, presently there is a nice bounce. The price action here in the after hours is sitting on that blue dotted line at about $20.12 from facing that 1992 bottom. So very impressive times right here, right? I want you to know that that's not quite it though, okay? There is still a probability of continuation to the downside. I'm not trying to be a shill here whatsoever. I'm just telling you how normal price action tends to work when these things happen. First of all, this was entry number one, right? To scale in very lightly, if you're going to be able to observe something like that. The scale in number two zone was down here, just to remind you, $19 to 1874. Okay, and that just happens, guys, because when we start to reach that $19.30, 20 cents, 25 cents, 18 cents, we start coming into the might as well pieces, right? We might as well touch $19, right? And then you could get a wick to actually just show a quick shakeout, right? a big wick here, and then it'll just continue towards that upside on a critical demand, right? So now if we are able to continue the downside, just observe that. We're going to validate that downside now. So let's go into a granular level and take a look at that 4-hour time frame, right? So this 4-hour time frame is indicating a potential little bounce, but remember, this is the pressure off in the post market, right? This was all downside here in the intraday, right? So if we are able to continue the downside, let's use maybe volatility versus momentum to identify what that probability could be. Guys, my voice is just absolutely going right now. Let me just go ahead and clear that real quick for everybody here. And that is gone, right? So let's continue on the analysis here. I will say that this is looking eerily like a freaking dead cat bounce on a 6-hour or maybe even an 8-hour time frame, right? So guys, I will warn about this, okay? It doesn't mean that it's going to happen. I'm just telling you that the downside targets of this dead cat right here are extremely confluent with other things that you've seen in the past, right? So let me just go ahead and show you that right now, right? Here you go. So this is going to be the top side of your price here. We're going to take this trend line here to the very low end of that dead cat, right? This is that bounce just like this. Now what you do here is you apply this trend line to the bottom side, and then guess what? Look at the target to the downside. It's getting very confluent to that very low end of the $17.56 zone that we touched. This was August 5th, Monday, right? So just be careful with that. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm just telling you that there is a probability over that happening. Okay, so let's take a look at the hourly time frame. Volatility versus momentum, see if we have any continuation to that downside. In fact, we do. There is a little bit of a kink here in this on the momentum indicator. That's indicating potential weakness, but we are expanding with that downside, right? That means that we're hitting the gas or we're throttling towards a potential downside. Got to watch out when that thing happens, right? 30-minute time frame, let's see what it's got. Right, so 30-minute time frame is already kind of curving, SMA 14 crossing above the EMA 3. Remember, the market is still open right now for just, I don't know, it looks like we're going to be open here for another hour or so. So just heads up on that, right? This is a forward-looking analysis. 15-minute time frame already getting a massive upside signal, right? But I will say that it's not so massive in comparison to the price actions happenings here during the post hours, right? So in order for us to get a continuation to that upside, we're definitely going to need a little more thrust from the immediate short term to actually push into the 30 hourly and use the cascading process, right? Like a domino effect. If we don't get that domino effect to happen, it's definitely not going to happen for us. Check this out. Bi-hourly time frame with a critical expansion signal and a nosedive. This is absolutely telling me that the downside probabilities are still of greater probabilities. Okay, guys. So I want you to understand that, yes, it is a bi-hourly. It's telling us that we have a 36-cent average true range. $20.11 back down to 1991 is not quite it, right? In fact, if you look at this target down here, that may be more like it, right? So just observe the probabilities here. Let's see the 3-hour time frame. Does it have that downside? It absolutely does. And it's expanding. What's the ATR on that? So it's around 48 cents to the downside, right? So $20.10 for, 48 cents. Are we getting, you're getting the gist of this, right? So that's how maths, and that's how price action tends to behave, right? So mathematically speaking, I do think that we have further continuation to the downside, just like we spoke about yesterday, by the way. Remember, guys, the reason why I know this is because I am a trading instructor. Make sure to get your seats taken. Make sure to take your seat at the ArcMastersCourse at Gmail immediately, because those seats are starting to fill up. We're going to be starting this beginners charting and mentorship program, the charting and trading mentorship program here in about a week and a half. And I want to make sure that you guys get that seat taken before it's too late, right? You guys, we just came to an end for the beginners crash course prior to this one. It's going to be an 8-week thing. So send me an email there and we'll get you situated, right, you guys? Anyway, so now let's continue on the analysis here. If we are going to continue the downside, team, remember there's going to be a short-term bounce at this weekly low. It's going to be around that $19.26. And then we could see a bounce to validate the resistances of 1991 before seeing the drop into the 19 to 1874 range. Remember that this downside here has to do with the bigger dead cat bounce. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, right? It doesn't mean it's going to happen. We're able to observe things like this in the markets every single day. Okay, you guys, this is what we do. I trade this thing live. Make sure to hit those links there because they are going to expire here at any moment. I want you to make sure to take advantage of that immediately, right, you guys? So yeah, I do think that GME has a probability of bouncing from these zones down here. There have been historically pretty nice bounces from this area here, right? So just keep that in mind, right? Be very patient here and make sure not to bet something that you're not willing to lose. And keep the wife's money out of this. Keep the kids' college tuition out of this, right? You degen, right? So make sure to follow up with your boy ARCa Bulls here, and I'll make sure to give you the right analysis, right, team? I think that's going to do it for the video today. And if any questions at all, you know where to reach me, right, team? So adios and adios. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Never, 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 ever, ever. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well, a very, very good rest of your night and or day, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios!